some weirdness going down there anyway. So,
all right, we're live.
Yo, motherfuckers, right back in your ass.
Yes, that's right. Rob's all up in your ass, guys. All right, so Matt's Goon Geek number 79, take 2. Unfortunately, when Tim came back in, he had the same delay. So apparently, there's something going on in the lovely geographic region of DC. So, yes,
I'm thinking there's a split. There's like a something to do with the flux capacitor and alternate realities and all that kind of shit. Yeah, let's look at that. Bacon's shit showing right up real quick. Sast is right back. Carl's right back. Everybody's right back. It's got to be DC. I'm telling you what.
It's possible. I mean, there was a little delay with us as well, but I think how's the YouTube channel? I dumped out.
I'm going into it right now. I'm gonna double check it here.
All right, and I just got the notifications came in quacker.
Yeah,
quicker than they did. Quacker. quicker than they did before. So that's
Carl's
good.
saying there's no delay on his side, and obviously,
Thanks, Carl.
at least for us three assholes, there's no delay as far as I can tell between me, you, and TJ.
No, we're fine, and we did. What's up, Nick? It's like this is the
it's Tim.
The groundhog. That's right. This is the Groundhog Day episode. Is what this is. Jesus Christ. Medic, yes, absolutely.
Medic!
All right, so even though the banner does say special guest Tim, he's here in spirit.
Yeah, so, we'll bring him back another time.
Yeah, we'll have maybe a random broadcast soon with him. Not a problem.
Yep.
So let's create a new banner.
Mass hysteria.
Dogs and cats living together. Mass hysteria.
You know what? It's Carl's fault.
Probably.
He said he's going to go to the garage and turn off the equipment. So I'm going to blame Carl.
There you go. God damn it, Carl. You're always gumming up the works. Jesus.
He's a fly in the ointment, a monkey in the wrench, pain in the ass.
Okay.
I got a funny story if I could tell really quick. Speaking of movie quotes. So I'm out, we're doing a camp out before we go on this long hike. So we're setting up our tents. And one of the
hey, real quick, look at that. The motherfuckers on Periscope are showing up in the chat too.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, they usually do, yeah.
Well, but we weren't sure if they were going to show up in
oh, yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Go on, TJ, go.
So we're setting up the tents, and somebody just casually asks, like, how many men could you fit into that tent? Because, the guy had been talking about it. He goes, oh, it can fit 6. And the guy goes, oh, it looks like it's bigger. And I just go, some men are longer than others. And they go, oh, your mother's been telling you stories about me again. We got the movie reference, so it was pretty funny. Like I wasn't talking, like he was off on the side working on his tent. And so when I said that, he just turns around and he goes, knows exactly what I'm talking about. So that's funny.
Cool. Yeah, there's some weird shit going on, I think, in general between StreamYard and YouTube and Periscope. So
yeah,
whatever one works for you is good, as long as you get the CR.
Well, now I just realized Mixie isn't going to see my fucking comment where he said YouTube isn't showing the stream, at least for him. I answered him in the YouTube. It's like, well, it's showing for me, Sast. It's like, well, he ain't going to see that.
He's back. He had to log out.
Oh, there we go. God damn it. There we go. All right.
Unleash the Kraken. Clary's not here, so you don't have to worry about any kind of Kraken theft.
Also, I guess we'll show it off. This is my rum that I'm drinking.
Myers
rum.
Dark Jamaican rum. It's actually really good.
Cool.
Yeah, it's some good stuff.
Is it smooth?
It's like it just tastes like it was brewed in the Caribbean, or it was distilled in the Caribbean. Like it's got that tropical taste to it.
So it tastes like coconuts, palm trees, and ass.
And pineapples. Yeah.
I don't know
with just a hint. Just a hint of weed.
It tastes like a Jamaican skin.
There you go. Jesus.
Rob, I don't know what part of Jamaica you've been to, and I'm not going to comment, and I'm not going to judge you to your face. We'll just wait until later.
There you go.
So, I showed off my books that I got last week, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I do have, well, I got 10 copies of my book that just arrived in the mail, and I'm trying to figure out what to do with them. They're not author copies, they're just copies of the book.
You should have. I have an idea, TJ.
I'll show them.
Well, if the fucking guy walks away,
I start talking and he walks away.
Really? I have this brilliant idea, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna fucking leave.
No, oh my god.
God damn it, TJ.
Damn it, Bob.
All right, here we go. Here's my idea. We got guys in the chat. You should be able to send one to some of these guys.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can sign it even.
Yeah.
Because you've got copies. Look at that shit. It's the Song of Wolfgar. Guys, it's a good book.
Sign them and sell them for 10 times markup.
Hey,
if you can find the unsigned copies, they're worth a fortune.
Is that Cappy talking right now?
No shit.
Yeah, that was
hey, McTubus, guess what? You just bought yourself at 10 times the price. That's a great idea. No, but seriously, if guys type like F in the chat or something, you'll send them a copy or something. I don't know.
Yeah. No, TJ,
Rob's creating work for TJ now. he's got to package them up and get the shipping and send that shit out.
Yeah, TJ's gonna be express shipping anywhere in the world. Trust me, I know. He said he wanted to do it.
What we'll do is we'll have some sort of masculine geek. I know, maybe
we'll have a raffle. We'll do a raffle.
We'll do a raffle, and I'll do a signed copy, and I myself.
Hey, that reminds me real quick. I don't know if TJ, if you got yours or not, but John Steele sent me a bar of soap.
I haven't gotten mine yet, but I sent him my address.
Okay, well,
I haven't sent him my address.
That probably would help you if you did, because I did. I sent mine. I got it today. So I'm pretty excited. It's definitely handmade. You can tell by looking at it and whatnot. Mine, at least, it's kind of an interesting color. Hey, you know what? I'm going to pull a TJ and just go grab it. So hang on.
1 second, gents. I'm logging into the Google so I can respond to your comments. Unlike other Pud Wax, I have like multiple security measures in place.
So John sent me this soap, and I'm going to open it up here. Take it out of the little bag that he put it in, the little cocaine bag. You get a cocaine bag, guys. If you get soap from John Steele, he'll probably send it to you.
You can reuse it. Yep.
Absolutely. You can repurpose it. We're trying to be, friends of the earth. So you can repurpose this for your weed or your cocaine or whatever it is you like to do, your ecstasy. So
you're not gonna bend over right now, right?
No, I'm not gonna do anything except tell you about this fucking bar of soap.
Just want to make sure.
Okay,
guys,
so
you drop it and then you go to pick it up.
No, I'm not gonna drop the soap.
As long as you're not near a shower, we're safe.
You're making these gay prison comments over here. Jesus Christ. So it's got kind of a red color to it. It's gonna look a little more different because of the light, obviously, but it's definitely handmade. There's no beyond the smell of soap. You guys know what soap smells like that's not scented, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Really? TJ? Well, then you're going to understand what this is like. Okay. So when you get yours, if you give him your fucking address, you'll know what soap that's unscented smells like. Well, I gave him my address. All right. Okay. So he's definitely put some color into it, because soap that is handmade, like this is definitely handmade. Soap that is uncolored, unscented is not going to be this color. It's going to be more of a yellowish ivory. Yeah, I could show one of mine, but I'm too lazy to get out of my chair now that I'm back, so I'm not going to. But so he's definitely added some color to it. There is no scent to it. There is no smell to it other than the soap smell. So it feels fairly hard. Wow, that I'm waiting for one of you assholes to fucking say something about that.
And
That's what she said.
As
Anyway.
you've got your mouth close to a big dick.
Right, my big black cockatoo. Where's Atham at? Anyway, so I'm going to try this thing out because I have a feeling that John's, kind of like maybe trying to kind of market his soap or something where he was like, hey guys, if you want some of my soap, give me your address. I'll fucking mail you a piece. It's definitely a good size bar of soap. He definitely sent me more than I would have sent.
You'd be able to use that for a year.
Well, that's the part. I don't know the ingredients. I don't know what kind of oils and whatnot he's used. So depending on that, it could actually last a very long time. Then again, if it's a Castile where it's like one oil and one oil only, say like an olive oil, for example. If you do a Castile where it's just one oil, olive oil will melt, for lack of a better word. You'll go through it lightning quick, which is why you do multiple oils. You super fat it, and you'll get a lot of different oils out of it. And when you do that, it can affect the hardness is the term, and also the bubbles, the foam, I guess. So I haven't tried it yet because, like I said, I literally just got it today. And so I'm going to try it out because he hit me up and he's like, hey, did you get it yet? And I'm like, actually, I just got it today. And so I'm going to try it out. And if it actually is, worth a fuck, which I imagine it is just by the feel of it, then I'll do like a testimonial and be like, hey, you can wash your balls with this shit, guys. And it'll take off whatever grime and pussy scum and whatever else you got going on. So, yeah. So that was pretty cool.
You know who really needs that soap?
What?
Kathy.
Yeah, well, he needs that shit for his mouth.
Yeah,
here, Aaron, put this in your mouth and shut the fuck up.
Also, because isn't he the one who uses Irish Spring?
He does. He was complaining about that one time. He went to the store and they didn't have any or some shit.
Irish Spring.
I think that's when he came. I think that's when he had come to the Village by the Sea. He forgot or didn't have Irish Spring.
Oh my God, you're right. I totally fucking forgot about it.
Remember that? He was complaining about that
oh
shit.
My God. But you know what? It's because he pissed and moaned about everything at some point. So
now we know where all the rum went. He just started dousing himself with the rum. He's like, oh, I don't have Irish Spring. Here's the rum.
There you go. All right, gentlemen. For one more time, there were technical issues beyond our capability. It had nothing to do with us. There was a delay between when we talked and Tim heard. So they can't have a show with that shit. So we'll have Tim back on another time.
Yeah, hopefully StreamYard and YouTube figure their shit out and get their penis and vagina, to connect. So,
yep. Talk about bending over for the soap. So we had talked about this, I think, last year. Rob's soap, TJ's books, mine. We'll do a raffle and we'll have like a Masculine Geek bundle and we'll ship that out to you.
Dude, we need to fucking do that. We'll have that, I guess, the press F in the chat type of thing, since TJ's got his 10 copies over there and you've got yours. We'll do that during the Village by the Lake. Seriously.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
We'll do that here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. Everything's going to be amazing.
And you guys can get a signed copy of TJ's book because I've seen his handwriting and it's not that impressive.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to bring my quill pen and ink.
Bring your rubber stamp.
You fucking better now that you said it, because that's going to be like Periscoped or live broadcast showing you signing the books with the quill pen.
Oh, absolutely.
There's going to at least be, you need to bring at least one copy with your quill pen when you come out to the Village.
You can sign it. Yeah.
And fucking sign it while we're doing the show. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And that's what you can say is, yeah, see? And then TJ Martinell.
Just write that. Yeah, see?
Yeah, see, you got my book, see?
Here's your fucking book, see?
Get on my I want what's coming to me, see?
Well, since you're all wearing hats or caps, I figured I might as well wear my Amerikanski hat.
There you go.
Well, now you look like you're ready to go plow corn in the cornfield with Red Crusader.
There you go.
Well,
you
no.
build it, and they will come. Build the dreams over.
So we were talking. We were originally going to talk about technology and pre-internet days and all that kind of stuff, and so we've chatted about it before. So I think that to avoid kind of regurgitating similar stuff, I think one of the discussions or questions or interests that I have is trying to go back to some of that stuff that is worth keeping, because I think one of the problems with technology when it comes out is there's not any kind of meaningful discussion about its ups and negatives. Like, here's the value it provides to us. It's great stuff. And this is, I think, why we're all still on social media. A lot of bad stuff as a result, but the positives and the benefits kind of outweigh the negatives. Our ability to do what we're doing on StreamYard and on YouTube outweighs a lot of the problems for now, as long as they're not like requiring us to say hail feminism and long live the gynocracy or whatever. What is it called?
It's the
You got it right.
gynocracy. You got it right.
Yeah, as long as we don't have to do that, like, it's like, yeah, it sucks, but like there's no, like, the pluses outweigh the minuses. But I'm wondering, is there any kind of old stuff that can be gone back to in a way that isn't like being, that at least at the very least hasn't been taken over by spurgs, because and how do you do that? Because
part of what we're doing with Masculine Life is an answer to that.
Yeah, that is true. Because one of the things I was thinking of is, and that's actually something I'm going to be doing. So for people who follow me on Twitter, at some point I'm going to start shifting over completely to the Masculine Life site. So for those of you who like following some of the hiking photos that I post and all that kind of stuff, I'm going to be posting them exclusively in Masculine Life, because it's like I go hiking, I share my stuff, and is it controversial? No. Is it stuff that's going to get me in trouble on Twitter? No. But you know what? I'm investing in our site because we're in control of that, as opposed to, I don't want to be beholden to where they're like, oh, well, you got to say this or you got to do this or not say this, and we're not going to provide you with a platform anymore. But like, for an example, like, writing letters to people, I think that has value, but it's just, for most people, it just comes off as weird. It's just strange. They kind of get this weird, like, where is this person going with that? And I think that's one of the struggles of going backwards with technology and being kind of retro, is that people are always wondering, well, where is this going? As opposed to being, if you're technologically progressive, they know you're going with whatever the technology is. But if you're kind of going backwards, they see that as being quaint at best, but they don't. And yeah, you can do that with older people. Like, if I did I've done typewriter written letters to people that I've known in my family who are older. They've seen it, they get it, they appreciate it. But there's no way.
You want to school Red Crusader? There was a reason I talked about it in the final days of the Patreon. I've mentioned it on Twitter numerous occasions, and it's even in the newsletter. So
Red Crusader,
Jesus, I know. We'll give him. He's out in the cornfield, so we'll give him some slack. So, guys, TJ, do your spiel.
Masculine Life is
Masculine Geek Life.
Masculine Geek Life is a private site that you subscribe to, that we run, that allows men to have meaningful conversations and interactions and dialogues. Like, imagine you're in a cigar lounge, you're having a stogie, you have a good, really nice whiskey, and you're having intelligent conversations, and there's no trolls, there's no spurgs, there's no retards, there's no justice warriors, there's no feminists. There's no people there to like police your thoughts and get offended at everything you say and trying to get you in trouble. That is what the site exists for, and we understand that if you want to be in control of something, you got to pay for it, and if you want something of value and have skin in the game. So the people who are going to be on this site and the people who are already on this site are people who you want to talk to because they have something intelligent to say. They're not just going to go, they're not some anonymous egghead on Twitter saying stupid stuff and then getting pissed off while you don't respond to them because they're a moron. Like we don't have to deal with that kind of stuff on this site. And it's like going into not a country club, because those are snobs. We're not snobs, and especially not some of the guys that we hang out, or especially not the guys we hang out with. But that's what the site's for. Like we're thinking long term, that's where the future. And so for people who are interested in that kind of thing, good, come on, join us. We've had good chats, and we're starting up all the different dialogues, and it's like having cable, except you actually get to say something and you're not being tracked constantly by the. That's another thing. We're not collecting your information. We're not like, oh, what did they say here? Well, we got to sell that to some advertiser. No, you're the customer.
Everything. It's a private club, as you can say club loosely, but go check out the main site and just read the mission statement on the page. And in fact, Rob,
what?
Use your cock of doom and get your NPR voice and read the homepage for us.
Oh, for fuck's sake! I gotta go to the homepage first.
It's going to take you 2 extra clicks. Jesus
Christ! I gotta type it in. All right, give me a minute here.
God damn.
Masculine.
Oh, I gotta look this up. Oh my God.
That's right. Well, do you have this in an audio version? Because I don't have time to read.
Yeah, you do.
We need Jack.
Masculine Geek Life. The Masculine Geek Life mission. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. This is it. All right. I got to get into character here.
There you go.
Hang on. Here we go.
Take a drink.
No, I'm out of beer.
Jesus
All right.
Christ.
Masculine Geek Life is the 21st century's men's club, a place for masculine men to interact with one another in a space created by men for men. Here, they can enjoy a drink, or 2 or 3, or 5 or 7 or 9, and a smoke while discussing history, guns, literature, women, art, and whatever else inspires them in life. In the detritus of online social media, that's the toilet bowl. Masculine Geek Life is a place of refuge for masculine geeks in the same vein as Dr. Johnson's Essex Head Club and Benjamin Franklin's Junto, a place for talkers who are also doers. The way we do that is the same way these traditional gentlemen's clubs operated. Put your money where your mouth is and have skin in the game. Those who want to participate, to speak and be heard, must show they're serious about being here. More than ever, men need a place to congregate, even if virtually, and discuss mutual topics in a venue that isn't controlled or censored. MG Life is the modern version of the ancient Greek agora, which was a place where men could discuss philosophy, politics, and vote. No censorship, no virtue signaling, no groveling, no deplatforming, no cancel culture, no politically correct bullshit, no nonsense. All masculine geek. Subscribe now.
Thank you, Rob, and well done.
Real quick, since you brought that up there, I've seen Matt Freemat in the chat, and I want to to acknowledge that he's there. The other is Matt's been in Salt Lake for about the last week because of his work. He and I've had the privilege, is how I will put it. I've had the privilege of meeting up with him 3 separate times now. And guys, this is what it's all about. We're kind of to riff off of the whole digital versus analog versus writing letters and making phone calls. And yes, all of those things are good. But for me personally, something I know I've said before, and I'm sure you fuckers have already heard it, but my goal for me, for Rob, is ultimately to culminate in a face-to-face meeting, just like I did with TJ and Vince, and yeah, that asshole Aaron. But I've now also, and there's a couple other guys that I've met, a couple other guys that live in Salt Lake. There's actually quite a few masculine men / red pill, whatever you want to call it. There's a couple other guys I've met. One of them at least has showed up in the chat before. That would be Skelton. Guys, this is what it's about. I mean, writing letters and making phone calls, definitely the making phone calls part. I agree with that 110%. But for me, it's always been ultimately about face-to-face, because nobody, not anyone, can fucking censor you face-to-face.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it's all about. It is. I know Matt brought it up because, not to out you here, Matt, but I'm going to kind of out you a little bit. Matt's all about community. He's all about wanting to build community. And I get it. You know, and he and I are on the same page when it comes to that. I think all of us, the guys, the $1 Million Chat, me, Vince, TJ, I think
that's why we set up the Masculine Geek. That's why we set up the Masculine Geek meetups there.
Right.
No.
It's all about community. It's all about meeting like-minded individuals. It's all about being able to be face-to-face, swap phone numbers, whatever, in case, you know, the gynocentric hammer comes down. Do it. It's well worth it, guys. It's well worth meeting these individuals face-to-face. Like I said, I am honored and privileged to have met Matt face-to-face. The things this man had to say was like my head was exploding about every 3.5 minutes. So seriously, it's been a great time, and I'm glad that he reached out to me and was like, "Dude, I'm going to be in Salt Lake during this time period," and I'm like, "Fucking reach out," and he did. Do the same, guys. Do the same wherever you're at. You know, a lot of the $1 Million Chat. I know a lot of these motherfuckers here. We're all on Twitter and whatnot, and as bad as Twitter can be, at the same time, I can look at it and say, if it wasn't for Twitter, I wouldn't have met 3/4 of the guys, you know, whether virtually or in actual real life. So I got to give Twitter a little bit of respect and a little bit of credit. But I know a lot of you guys follow, you know, not only us, but you follow each other. We're all like this big, happy, fucking drunk family. Make it a point that you guys, especially when you guys are close, because I know like Vince has met some other guys. You know, Tim's not too far from Vince. There's a couple other guys that aren't too far from Vince. That kind of thing. When you guys start finding out, you know, that, hey, oh my God, you're like an hour away or even 2 hours away, make it a point to, you know, not just talk shit. Oh yeah, let's meet up, man. That'd be fucking cool. Fucking do it. Make the time to meet up, especially when it's like 2, maybe 3, 4, or even 5 hours away in some cases. Make it a point to actually follow through and meet each other. Okay, it's worth it. Every guy I've met, and I don't agree with everything they say, and that's okay. But every guy I've met, without exception, it's been worth my time. It's been worth creating that bond or creating that, you know, forging that alliance, whatever buzzword you want to throw at it. Okay. Whatever fucking hot, term you want to throw out there, because, you know, we're all grifting apparently. It doesn't matter. Make the point to do it. It's worth it. That way you are in touch with each other no matter what happens, whether it's gynocentrism or it's, you know, the fucking anarchists / Antifa, or with all the weird bullshit that's going down. You know, Drew Bay's been talking about arm yourselves, and he's not wrong. Okay. because God knows what's coming. We don't know. I mean, is it going to be that bad? I don't know. I hope not. But he's not wrong. And either way, there's going to be disruptions. There's going to be shit showing up. Whatever it is, whether it goes ultra violent or not. There's going to be weird shit coming. We have interesting days ahead of us. So now is the time. Make those alliances, make those friendships, get to know each other, see each other face to face and be like I did when I met these guys. First thing I said to all of them, you ain't that tall. You know, because they're all like, you know, TJ's like, yeah, I'm 6 foot and something, you know, and Aaron's, yeah, I'm 5'9". And, you know, and I'm like looking at these guys and I'm like, that's nice to meet you. You ain't that tall. You get to meet them face to face. So do it. Fucking do it. You will not regret it. Because that's the thing, you know, the easiest test, the one that I use is, would I have a beer with this guy? And obviously there are people on Twitter that, yeah, right. But the majority of the guys that I follow that follow me, I've interacted with them enough that I'd be like, yeah, you know what? I would have a beer with them. And I've not been disappointed. So do the same. TJ, take it away.
We're done after that. Look, we're done.
Okay, bye, guys. Been nice seeing you.
Yep. No. Rob is absolutely correct, and that's one of the reasons why we're doing Masculine Geek, and one of the reasons why we do the Masculine Geek meetups, the Village by the whatever, wherever we happen to be, we'll tack on the Village by whatever. So, but yes, there'll also be a Masculine Geek one day East Coast meetup, probably in early to mid October, where we'll be hitting Gettysburg. So, if you're in the area. I know Mictobus is in the area. He's going to be hanging out. Tim's going to come up for that. So come out, wander the battlefields, have a beer, hang out, be good stuff. But TJ and I, well, putting words in TJ's mouth, but we both co-sign on what Rob says. So, I mean, we can't be any more eloquent.
Well, and to add to it, all of our peer pressure and twisting his arm, TJ actually got his tickets.
He did. He did that night. He sent us it was really weird because I got the itinerary. Shout out to Aaron Clary. I got the itinerary and it made it seem like it was coming from TJ's email, but it wasn't. So I responded with like a funny, and like, I didn't hear anything back. I'm like, oh, whatever. And then said, oh, this is autoresponder. You've replied to an email that's not monitored, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, fuck. So I thought that was pretty funny. Like, oh, well,
Drew,
at least you guys take it.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
When is the Village people by the sea, you homos? Well, that would be an Aaron Clary meetup, no doubt.
That would be the gay hand in action, and he'll call you a homo while he pours 3 fingers of Kraken that you bought.
The Masculine Geek Militia Antifa hunt.
That's what I'm saying, Drew. Don't threaten me with a good time.
That would not be kind of fun. Yes, Mictobus is in there, and I'm really enjoying the forums because some of you guys may remember that before social media, there were the old school message boards and forums, and that's how we swapped notes, and that's how we talked and communicated. So it's a nice nod to that time. It's very simple. It's very streamlined. It's a great time. You can subscribe to a topic and be alerted when if someone posts something new. Throw up attachments and photos and links and whatnot. It's really, just check it out. It's pretty cool. If you don't like it, just cancel. No big deal. But the July sale is still going on. If you get in now, it's only $29.99 a month, and that will be for the remainder of the time you're signed up. After July 31st, it goes up to $59.99 a month. So get your asses. If you're planning on it and you want to check it out, get in now. Kill economy frame. Exactly, Mictobus. The old bulletin boards. Yep. And it's great. I'm really enjoying it. I like hanging out in it. I like interacting with everybody. It's good shit. Rob is not as active as we would like, but he's in there occasionally.
Once in a while, I rear my head up. If anything, my excuse that I'm going to use is, Yeah, when I play mysterious and hard to get, then people value it more.
Oh, is that
There we
what it
go.
is? Okay, well there you
That's
go.
what it is.
If you guys, if you want mysterious Rob, get in there.
No. Start talking about your legacy and how you want to build.
Start a legacy post. Let's
fast
start a
I go.
legacy post.
Just talk about your legacies and guys, what legacy do you want to leave? And trust me, Rob will not be that far away. Or talk about retaining anything.
Yeah, retain your semen. I'll be in the chat then.
There you go.
And Rob will be there like, ah!
Right. Oh shit.
Oh man,
the
Bacon,
hell?
you had shit stolen out of your car. What the fuck? Oh, that sucks.
That sucks balls.
Fuck.
real.
What was it? Was a lot of expensive equipment? Like what kind of equipment? Like weapon equipment or workout equipment or
Or broadcasting equipment.
broadcasting equipment that doesn't work properly? Maybe it's good that they stole it, and you can get some new shit.
Drew's correct. The only thing we do need to conserve, the only thing we need to retain right now is ammo.
Yes, that's the only retaining you need.
There's logic and talking, correct here. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, it'll be good to have you, Bacon, because I know you're a very good writer, and it'll be good to have you the forum is called the Speakeasy, the Masculine Geek Speakeasy. Stole all his dildos.
Oh man.
That's too funny. No, Matt, you never leave bondage gear in your car unattended.
No, not for the fucking price of some of it. Hell no.
Take it from me. You do not do that. Aaron wouldn't know what to do with it.
No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't even know what it was. He'd be like, "What's
he
this?"
really doesn't. He had no idea what tentacle porn was.
Oh Jesus, yeah. Yeah, if he doesn't even know what that is.
Had to tell Atham to go look that up. Too funny. But but getting back to the Masculine Geek life stuff, and as far as the old school message boards, it's good stuff. You guys will enjoy it, and that it's not just the message boards. I mean, you can join the message boards. That's just $24.99 a month. But we also have essays. There's going to be tutorials. Speaking of bondage stuff, I'm going to definitely get that up and rolling a bit more, especially this fall. Essays that are specific to Masculine Geek, you're not going to find anywhere else. We may give teasers on the regular Masculine Geek site or on Twitter, just to as a marketing tool, and to say, hey, this is the stuff you can see. This is the value you're getting. And once, maybe twice, but for now, once a month, we do 2-3 hour Zoom meetings. The last one we had we were all over the board with everything, and it would get to the point where Bull Rush was showing off his blades and showing us how to properly sharpen a knife.
Which I bought one today.
There you go. And the sharpening system. And that's another thing too. Whatever membership level, and there's two, not counting the sale price, but all the membership levels, you get life. As long as you're a member, you get 10% off everything in Bull Rush's store. So we're partnering with him. So.
Which is a better affiliate link type of thing than some of the other random shit you see. So, because I can attest to it just from the fact that how much he talks about it, the shit he showed me, the shit he gave me when he came out to Salt Lake, that it's like the man knows what he's doing. He knows what he's about. So, if you buy something, you're getting a steal for it, really. For the prices he's charging, it's like, dude, you're ripping yourself off. You're gonna get a quality razor. So
I'm enjoying mine. It's a fantastic piece of equipment.
Yeah, I can't wait for mine to show up. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, and Bull Rush put love into his work and craftsmanship. That's what it's all about.
Yep.
And speaking of bondage, yes, there is BDSM at the Masculine Geek Life. I've been involved in the BDSM scene for over 16 years now, and I have receipts to prove it. Rob can attest to that. Everyone in Modern Life John's webinars can attest to that. And if you go on the Masculine Geek Instagram and pay attention to the Twitter feed, you'll see receipts to that effect. So that's a small section of Masculine Geek Life, but it is a section nonetheless. So, and Rob and I have a bondage adventure podcast that we do where we're comparing notes. We're talking about techniques. We're talking about things that are affecting us and that scene as it's happening now, because feminism is everywhere and it's even there.
Yep.
So we kind of help you navigate that landscape.
If that's something you're interested in.
Yeah, well, most guys have a passing interest at least.
Yeah, at least a curiosity.
Yeah, so get in there. And TJ and I do a religion and history podcast. We have to finish up our communism and Cold War podcast as well. But those will be things that are ongoing. And then we do the cartoon hours, which are now the Saturday afternoon cartoon hours, because it's just way too early to get up and do that shit.
Oh, fuck, I'll tell you.
That's right, Joe. We're bringing TJ along slowly. At least the well, you have to understand too, and Rob already knows this, but for the people that don't, oh, thanks, Mictibus. A woman can be involved in bondage and not submission. Likewise, a woman can be submissive and not involved in bondage. The two go hand in hand very well, and a perfect confluence is both of them. But they can exist, and they often do
exclusively
apart. So we talk about this. So get your asses in there. Like I said, $29.99 for a month for the Masculine Geek Life, and we're not giving you ammo though. Sorry.
Well, and that $29.99, doesn't that end in like 2 days?
That ends on midnight on the 31st, and then it gets increased to $59.99. You're getting it for 50% off right now.
So now's the time.
Yep. Poke TJ with a stick. He's falling asleep.
No, I'm not going to sleep.
He's paying attention. Yeah. So what's your favorite part of the boards, TJ? What are you enjoying most? Because we were talking about history. We talked about your motorcycle. We talked about a lot about books too.
Yeah. I mean, I just posted some stuff about this little skirmish during the Battle of the Bulge I'd never heard of, where 16 U.S. soldiers held off an entire German division for an extensive period of time. I think it was like 20 hours. And for people who don't know much about the Battle of the Bulge, it was a very timetables type battle. The Germans had only so many supplies for a full-on offensive, so they had to stick to the timetables. Having 16 men hold up your entire division was devastating at that point. And so I was just chatting about that, and Joe, who's a member, which you should also be, was commenting on that. And I was just going to post some stuff. I'm reading the book Storm of Steel, which was the first book written, one of the earliest books written about World War I by Ernst Junger. I'm not sure.
Junger, I think it's Junger.
I'm reading that book, and it's like, it's his prose. It's a translation. It's a very good translation, but it's just so devoid of like any kind of melodrama or any kind of self-pity. Like, he just tells it how it was in the war. And he was, from what I've read, I did a little background research on him before reading the book. The guy was a fearless war hero. And what was also funny, we're not going to go down this topic tonight, but there was another guy who fought in World War I who was also decorated for bravery, but he went down a different path than Junger. But, you know, if you read anything about 1940s, you kind of know what happened with that. So it's just interesting to see, like, you know, people's experiences during the war, you know, sent them on different paths afterwards and that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm enjoying talking about, is like, guys who come in, I don't have to educate anybody about what we're talking about. Like, everybody knows what we're talking about because they've read about it. Like, if we're talking about motorcycles, whatever, we're talking about pipes or liquor, it's not like anybody's saying, well, I don't know anything about this. Like, please educate me for the next 6 weeks, right? Like, you know, when you go into a cigar lounge and you're having cigars and whiskey with a buddy and you're chatting about stuff, typically in that environment, that's not an environment where somebody's going to just start mouthing off about something that they don't know what they're talking about. They're not going to say, well, this, and then you realize I got to educate this guy for the next 3 hours. Like that's not, it just doesn't lend itself to spouting out about something you don't know anything about. And the other thing is you're not going to do that in an environment where you got to pay money. Like, right. That's fine on Twitter where you can set up an account for free. But on the chat forums, we've got, I know that the people who are on there are interested in having a good discussion. They're not going to just be trolling or anything like that. Trolls, I hate them, and we should exterminate them, but we can't. So this is the best thing. Next best thing.
Well, yeah, that's it. It keeps it, the cost is obviously for overhead and whatnot, but I really wanted to keep out idiots. I have no time. I don't need spurgs and retards trailing along and wasting my time. If there's money involved, chances are you're going to value it more. And not only that, but we want to give a good product, and I believe we're doing that.
Yes.
As Mictobus said, it's like he's finding the speakeasy to be worth more than the membership cost. So that's a good endorsement. Thank you.
What's so funny?
How the hell did I get in then? That's funny. Yeah, our discussions on motorcycles have really been pretty cool too. Discussions on all that shit, all kinds of stuff. I should probably, I'll save it. We'll do a screen capture next time. And I need to start posting a few more essays too. And I got to get on the old. I need to start archiving the old Patreon podcast and throw them up in an archive section so everybody has that in case they missed it or they want to go back and listen to them again. So, and the good thing too is it's like Rob said and TJ said, we have control over this. Not to worry about Patreon censoring anything or whatnot. It's all, I can do the videos, can do the audio. It's all essentially under my control, our control, I should say. So. All right, let me just mute. TJ's cooking something, so we're gonna banging pans around and shit.
Yeah, he's fighting bears again.
Cool, Joe. You got your helmet. I'm assuming you're referring to motorcycle helmet.
Yeah, I think he is.
Because that was one of the discussions we're having. Yeah.
Did you go full visored, or are you doing like half or 3/4?
I'd given him some ideas too. I got a modular one.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, it's full, but I can, flip it up. It's got
I'm aware of what modular is. I'm that asshole that if I don't have to wear a helmet, I don't. So that's me. But I have a half shell and I also have a full visored. And the full visored is great for inclement weather. So you're not feeling like you're getting stung by 1,000 angry hornets.
Mm-hmm.
And the half shell I used to wear just because it keeps the top of my head intact. But after a while, it was like, I don't have to wear one here, so I don't. But that's me.
I know the one you're talking about, Joe, because I've got one of those for my my main girl. She uses that. It's a 3/4 with a visor that goes. There's like 2 stages. Goes up like a little bit and then all the way. Cool. Someone just signed up.
Nice.
And if you're in the chat and you want to mention that you signed up, go ahead. Brag about it.
Yeah, we're not going to out you.
Nope, you can do that yourself. Keep it private unless you want us to say. Meow.
Meow.
TJ's making a souffle over there. He's baking a quiche. He's baking a quiche.
I'm just eating. I'm sure you guys don't want to hear me eating.
No, we don't actually. Mute
No,
yourself
but we
again.
enjoyed hearing you rattle your pots and pans around.
That's why I muted your ass. See? Wow. Ooh, pardon me. Shit. God damn. So, Rob, it's almost that time. You want to give your spiel?
Sure. Hey, the $1 Million Chat already knows this, but for anyone who's watching the replay or you're lurking and it's your first time here, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the little notification bell because, we go from, 79.0 to 79.1 because YouTube and StreamYard, apparently their dick and vagina can't seem to connect sometimes. So do all that stuff. Share this with someone that you think would benefit from it or get a laugh out of it. All that kind of shit. It's a good time. You know what to do. And the $1 Million Chat, they've already done it because otherwise they wouldn't be here. But for you new guys, hit the like, hit the subscribe. It's free. It's a mouse click. Use your hands.
There you go. Gentlemen, with the rise of socialism and debt, I am preparing to move to the Netherlands in the next 10 to 20 years. My question is, why wait? Why wait that long?
Well, there is
What
that.
do you think? What do you all think? Right now, especially given what's been going on, I mean, sure. I mean, yeah, you could pretty much adapt to anything and make any place your home.
Well, there you have it.
I mean, it's wherever you want to go.
Yeah, to quote Aaron, do your reconnaissance. Go there for, like if you can, go there for like a month in the summer, go there for a month in the winter so that you understand what it, as an average, what their seasons are like.
Yeah, definitely do the research.
Yeah, do the research, find out what the laws are like. That's why for me, as an example, there's very few places that I would, I guess, go to because most places are a lot more restrictive when it comes to firearms than they are here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big one for me, that it's like, oh, because I've looked into different places. I've been doing the research. And like, just as an offshot, it's like, oh, Australia would be great, except, yeah, they've got a lot of restrictions when it comes to firearms.
And they have big spiders.
Well, the big spiders I'm okay with. I can deal with them. The big aggressive spiders are fine. It's the fact that they're very restrictive about their firearms. That would I love to visit? Absolutely. And I plan to. Would I want to live there? No. And it's like, so for me, know what you want, because unfortunately, guys, you can run from gynocentrism. You can't hide from it.
It's going to get you mid.
It is global.
Yeah.
Everywhere else, all the countries, I hear guys talking about, I go where there's an Islamic country, go where Islam is big. Dude, they're just 5 years behind the curve. And so, you have to pick and choose, properly for yourself. And for me, while I may bounce from state to state to state at some point, it could come to that. I don't plan on leaving the US unless there's like maybe a complete and utter collapse, just for the fact that there's really nowhere else to go. And so it's like, no, not unless other countries get a lot more liberal, for lack of a better words, a lot more permissive with their firearms, because when I go, my guns go with me. So
that's been my problem, to be honest, is I'm like thinking I want to go other places, but like, for example, if I was going to go up to Alaska, how would I get I know that there's probably a way to get your guns up there, but that just adds to the complexity, because you can't take them up through Canada. You have to have them shipped up. And yeah, people would say, well, why don't you go to these other countries? Because they don't allow you to have take your guns with you. And people will say, well, why does that matter so much? Some of my guns have sentimental value. They've been in the family for a while. They're rare, or just, it's the American in me. Like, to give up the guns is like to give up your your identity is what you are. And I know that that's probably not the most rational thing, and some other Americans who are living overseas are like, dude, for what you give up, it's better and all that other stuff. But a part of me is getting I think I'm torn. There's a guy who's saying, go somewhere else and you won't have to deal with problems. Another part of me is just tired of running, or like, I know wherever I go, like Rob just said, you can run, but you can't hide. Well, so it's like, okay, I'm looking more for like my Alamo, where I'm going to, stock up the fort, and, maybe this Alamo will hold up, but if not, if I can't keep them from coming, I can make them limp, leaving or something like that. I don't know. I don't like the idea of, I can't imagine giving up my guns to go somewhere. Just because I know that I'll never get them back. Should I come back? But if I go to another country and I give them up, I know that when I come back, by the time things have changed, the way things are changing in this country, on one hand, gun control seems to be kind of a dead discussion now. But that could change. They could just say gun ownership is racist and we got to ban it all.
Then they have to come and take it from me.
Well, or they could just say, if you want a vaccine, which you need for your job, you got to give up your guns or whatever. They're going to come up with some BS, passive aggressive. You can't get your tax return refund.
Hey, Doc.
Until you give up your guns, or you can't renew your driver's license without a gun, without getting whatever. They'll come up with something where like it's passive aggressive. Like they'll take away something else until you give up what they want. Like that's probably what's going to happen.
But I'm with Drew here. There's so many guns in the United States, and especially recently with current events, and you're seeing a lot of people that had more leftist liberal leanings. Now they're buying guns, and not because they want to LARP and be like that dipshit that got himself killed because he shot, into a car with an AK, but they're going, Jesus, it's getting bad out here. Okay. They're never going to be able to get all the guns, because you figure, well, as an example, I know people, I'm not going to say who, but I know people very close to me that own firearms that are not registered to them. Okay. So if it's, if the government, Big Daddy, decides to, hey, you got to give up your guns, like you're saying, your scenario, TJ. Well, I know some people that they're going to be like, oh, that's fine. I'll give up my 122 long, LR, my long rifle, rifle that I bought from my son. I'll give that up. But the other 17 guns in the house were in somebody else's name that's not affiliated, related, or anything else. And never mind guys that know how to do 3D printing. And you buy some receivers that are 3/4 finished, but aren't fully finished, but you don't have to register those. And you can make your own guns on demand. And there's so many firearms in this country that I heard a statistic. I don't know if it's accurate or not. So Atham, look that up. But I heard that there was enough guns, and this is just registered guns, but there was enough guns to arm every adult citizen in the country. You could give one gun to every adult citizen in the country.
I like it.
So that's a lot of guns. Okay. And that's just registered guns. Never mind not registered, whatever you want that to mean. Okay. They're never going to get the guns because there's too many of them, which is a good
thing. I think what they're going to do is they're going to make it like what that St. Louis couple, they're going to just make it so that if you use it, that like, oh, we're going to come down on you like the wrath of God. I would be more inclined at this point if people were like, if hypothetically, if trespassers came on my property, I'd be more inclined to use bear mace on them than firearms, because of just, maybe not in my county, but if I was living in some other place, certain parts of the country, because like, yes, technically you have that right, but guys, like part of it is an illusion. If the state, if somebody in government who has unlimited resources, wants to screw you over to make an example of you, they're going to screw you over to make an example of you. And so I think the issue is gun control perhaps is dead, but the question is, you know, who wants to be the first person to undergo what that couple is going through? And I who knows? I don't know all the facts. I just know
Judged by 12 versus carried by 6 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
If we're getting that bad, you know, if it's really going to get that bad, then ultimately it's going to be I would rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. It's going to be the, you know, pry it from my cold dead hand.
Yeah.
That's if it, you know, in a worst case scenario, that's the direction it'll go, because that's my mindset. It's like, you know, I hope it doesn't get there, but if it does, all this talk that you're saying, I'm shrugging my shoulders because I don't give a fuck. It's like, if we're going to get that bad, bring it. You know,
Right.
I'll take as many with me because fuck it all, because this isn't the country I grew up in at that point. So,
Right.
you know, and I think there's a lot of people, and I'm not trying to flex or brag. It's just the resignation. It's just, well, if that's how bad it's going to get, then I don't want to be here, and I'll take as many assholes with me. If they want to come, bring it. That's just how I look at it. It's like, bring it, come and get them. You know, I'm here, you're there, let's go. I'm not worried about it. So whatever social consequences, social credit, like the Chinese or whatever, I don't care about any of that shit. Not one bit of it. I don't care. Because if our country is going that direction, I don't want to be here for it. It's not worth it. I'm not going to live under that kind of tyranny. Just, I'm not. So, fuck it.
If we can't defend America, you're damn well sure we'll avenge it, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep. Have a good night, Carl.
Later, Carl. Catch up with you later. Yeah. Oh, this got dark pretty fast.
Yeah, it did, but you know.
That's all right. It's usually we fly by the seat of our pants.
Yeah, you know, but I'm in all honesty, I'm a lot more optimistic though, to be honest. Not that things can't go south, not that things can't get worse before they get better, because I do think that to a degree it is going to get worse before it gets better. Will it be full on blood in the streets type of thing and people, you know, killing each other, you know, left and right everywhere you go? I don't think it's going to get quite that bad. Will you see areas, you know, hot spots where, yeah, that shit's going on? Yeah, I do. I think you're going to see that pop up. But as far as like across the entire country, just every city, every town, everywhere you go, no, I don't think it's going to get that bad. I think there will be, you know, calmer heads, so to speak, that will say, you know, we've got to figure this out.
Yeah, you're seeing pockets of bullshit like you're seeing in Seattle.
Right. Seattle,
yeah.
Portland, areas like that. There are going to be, you know, your very liberal cities. I think, yeah, you're going to see it get worse before it gets better. But you're also seeing people leaving those cities. You're seeing people arming themselves where before they were very anti. And so things like that, you know, you could say, well, we could be ushering in another type of tyranny, but where we are seeing different government agencies kind of clamping down a little bit. And while that can be scary in and of itself, at the same time, they're not trying to take away rights. They're not trying to guilt, shame, and intimidate people into going along with the party line. They're trying to control chaos. And so as long as it stays like that, that's not necessarily tyranny. And I think, you know, for me, I want to stay more positive about it and say, yeah, we're heading into some really rough water. We're definitely going into an unknown future. But I think at the end of it, I think we'll come out of it better off than the ultimate scenario of where it's just, you know, fucking neighbors killing neighbors type of thing. And yes, Sast, you're correct. The Marxists do want to destroy the system, but I don't think they will. I don't think they will because there's enough there's enough intelligent, educated people that just haven't spoken. That we're not talking political parties and things like that. It's your everyday citizens. It's the people. It's guys like us. It's people that kind of stay out of it because, hey, as long as that shit isn't coming to my door, I don't really give a fuck. But if it starts getting to their door, you're going to see a crackdown. And a lot of these leftist types aren't ready for that. Because, like the guy that decided to LARP and shot the car with his AK and ended up getting killed for his fucking troubles.
Stupid.
That's more likely what you're going to see. And a lot of the left, from what I've seen so far, and I may be proven wrong, and I hope I'm not, but everybody wants to be a revolutionary, but nobody wants to be a martyr. Okay? And that's the thing I'm noticing with the agitators and the Marxists and all that. They sure put on a big show. They're the big dog barking on the porch, but when it comes time to fucking go, they're not going. And I think that's, everybody wants to be a revolutionary, but nobody wants to be a martyr. Until you get a bunch of people, and I don't mean just 5 or 6 or a couple of dozen. We're talking hundreds. Until you get people that are so brainwashed that they're willing to be martyrs for the cause, that's one of the things that's going to be like a fail-safe. Because you see it already. We've seen it in the different videos and whatnot, and different posts and different articles. Somebody decides to be the tough guy until a tough guy shows up. And then they get their ass handed to them, and everyone else fucking scatters because nobody wants to be a martyr. And so that to me is kind of the, we're okay. We're not heading to that complete collapse or that complete civil war or that complete whatever. When you see a protest going on in a major city and the protesters are willing to throw themselves into not less than lethal ammunition, but right straight into the maw of the dragon. They get the bullet, they get cut down. And yet they keep coming, then you have something to worry about. But we're not there yet. And I don't think we'll ever get there because this generation doesn't have the stomach for it. They don't want to be martyrs. And so if we get to that ultimate, the moment of truth, as I call it, they all blink, they all flinch, they all back down.
Well, then they realize it's not a finally realize it's not a video game.
Right. Until you get wave after wave willing to get laid down, to get mowed down by gunfire. When that day comes, then we're in deep shit.
It's like the protesters / rioters that were like, oh, we're gonna storm the White House. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Nobody's doing it because nobody wants to be a martyr.
Everybody crumbled like your old bread after that fucking shit. Stupid.
And that's the thing, that's for me, that's kind of the ultimate fail-safe. When you see wave after wave of protesters willing to be cut down by gunfire and they keep coming, then we have a problem, a real problem. Not that we don't have problems. I'm not dismissing what's going on. I'm not trying to diminish it. But that ultimate fail-safe for me is, okay, are they willing to take on gunfire and watch their fellow protesters get cut down?
And Joe's being funny, but also it's a very poignant point.
Yeah, exactly.
Spot on.
And it is, and that's what I mean. Everybody wants to be a revolutionary, but nobody wants to be a martyr, because in order to have a real revolution, people have to die, and so they're not there yet, and I don't think they'll ever get there. And so that's why I'm not really super concerned about it. It's like, when they get to that point, if and when, then we have a real problem. And that's where, you're probably going to end up dead. But you take as many with you as you can because they're just going to keep advancing. But I don't think we're going to get there because we as a country, for better or worse, we're too soft. Okay. I mean, the fact that we want to occupy other countries for resources or whatever reason, and yet we always back off. because in occupation, that means total subjugation if you want to take that population over, which means you're going to have to kill a lot of people. And we as a country won't even do that. You know, going into a foreign soil, we will not subjugate them with a bloodbath because we as a country don't have the stomach for it. It's not like Roman days where you go in and you slaughter all the men and you take the women and you kill the babies. We will not do that. We don't have the stomach.
That's why they're using drones.
Yeah, we have the technology, but never mind drones. Vince, we have the ultimate technology. We could nuke them right out of existence and solve the problem.
Well, there's that, yeah.
We won't do that, which is not a bad thing, but we won't do that. Okay, but if you want to subjugate a population, that's the type of subjugation that has to happen. You have to damn near annihilate them to break them. And we as a country don't have the stomach for it, so that shit's not going to even happen here on our own soil as far as I'm concerned.
No, and there's really no ultimate money in it.
No.
And that's a huge factor. Yeah. No, that's a good point.
And that's why I'm not as worried about what's going on, just for the fact that nobody wants to be a martyr. And so it's like, you know, you get these randos like that dude that, he fucked around and found out, you know. And so, you're going to get a few of those showing up here and there that someone fucks around and they find out. But everybody else backs the fuck off, and
something was going to get him eventually. So
exactly,
I mean,
whether it was him shooting into a car,
This is just like an incredible catalyst for his demise.
Exactly, that was a guy that definitely wanted to burn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was Darwinism at its finest. If it wouldn't have been that, it would have been something else to take him out of the equation. Okay, he had a death wish, basically. And you're going to see more and more of that show up, but they're not martyrs for the cause. I mean, I thought about it earlier today. George Floyd, he's been dead, 2 months now?
And sober.
Sure, he's had a record streak of sobriety. But you don't hear about George Floyd anymore.
No, it's not serving the purpose anymore. It's already done.
Yeah, he's no longer the martyr.
You don't even. Not only that, Rob. I'll do you. We'll talk even more about. But you don't even hear about the fuckers that got him. There's nothing. There's nothing about a trial. Nothing about. Absolutely nothing.
I'm telling you. Wait for two things to happen. One, if the president wins the election, and two, when the cops get acquitted. It's going to be.
It's going to be Rodney King all over again. Is all it's going to be.
It's probably going to be worse.
Because nobody has the stomach.
No, but here's why.
It might be in more areas than, say, in Los Angeles County. That I'll agree with you, but I don't think it's going to necessarily be worse because they don't have the stomach for it.
Yeah, but the problem is, I don't think the Rodney King riots were instigated by the government, local government, or the Chinese, but. Let me put my tinfoil hat on. I would bet significant money that the Chinese are behind a lot of what's going on right now, and the local governments are aiding and abetting these local domestic terrorists. So,
and I'm not going to argue with you there, but I still fall back on my original premise, which is nobody wants to be a martyr. Nobody has the stomach for that. And so because of that, are you going to see resistance and riots and burnings and lootings? And yeah. I agree 100%, TJ. But is it going to turn into a full-scale conflict? No, because nobody, even if the Chinese are involved, even if the local governments are on board and they're instigating, nobody wants to be a fucking martyr. And that's where you're going to get. They'll only go so far, and then they're going to back off because all it's going to take is a handful of well-armed citizens to go, bring it here. I'm your fucking Huckleberry. And when they get shot down, motherfuckers are going to back off because you're no
Daisy. You're no Daisy at all.
Exactly, because nobody has the stomach for it. We are too soft. That is our fail safe as far as I'm concerned. And maybe I'm wrong, and I hope I'm not. You know, I really hope I'm not, but that's to me as I'm looking at it going, we don't have the stomach for
I
this.
hate to say it. I mean, on the surface, I would agree with you, Rob. The one thing I will say that's the most disheartening is how many people's lives are so pathetic that for them, what is death? Because their lives are so like this is
Yes, I agree with you, but here's the thing, TJ. We live, no matter how much you want to shit on America and being a white male, a white straight male, and all that shit, all of these kids live in the land of opportunity, the land of luxury. These are not poor kids who can't find something to eat, and so they have nothing to lose. Okay. These aren't other countries where they're so oppressed that they have nothing. Okay. These kids, and I call them that, whether they're adults or not, they have their phones, they have their television, they have their video games, they have food on the table because you've seen the pictures of some of these guys. They haven't missed a meal in a long time. They have shit to lose. And so their lives are not so despondent as to be that, you know what, death would be preferable. That's what I mean. We don't have the stomach for it. We live in a land where, hey, even the poor, the homeless, and most of them, homelessness is a choice because they have so many resources, so many options. I don't see emaciated, starving homeless in Utah. They're all well fed. Okay. Some of them are obese. They're not missing meals. So they're not starving to death. So they have shit to lose. Whether it's the 5 possessions in the shopping cart that they stole, they're relatively happy, believe it or not. When I see the homeless around, they're not looking to murder because they're so hungry that they'll kill you and eat you. They're not getting to cannibalism. And that's where I'm saying these younger people are not ready to be martyrs. Their lives are not miserable enough. And I don't think it'll get there. I really don't think it'll get there. I don't think it'll get that far.
I mean,
that's my take.
When you see people who are protesting and they're in the middle of the night in the dark and they're on an interstate highway like in near Seattle, I mean, it's kind of like what Rollo Tomasi says when he talks about particularly with women, like they're so used to and so have such a strong faith in their own protection that they will put themselves in dangerous situations. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this is an example that I've shown and people aren't thinking about. They're saying, "Oh, we're gonna get our guns, we're gonna shoot people." Okay. What do you do when it's 20 people showing up to your house to burn to the ground and it's a bunch of women, some men, and they've brought their kids with them? Like that's what's going to happen. That's what I see happen. Not for anything.
And it's possible, but if they show up at the wrong house, those women and children get shot. Okay. That's what happens. And then the rest scatter because that's what will happen if they decide that's what they're going to do. You put them in front of the wrong house. That's what's going to happen. They're going to get shot, women and children both, because somebody will have the stomach to say, not my house, motherfucker. And I don't care if you bring your kids with you or not. I will gun them down too.
Yeah, and Safety Doc makes a good point. And a lot of these kids, they are, as Rob has mentioned, they're indoctrinated college-age students.
That's it.
And
they haven't experienced life. Life hasn't fucked with them enough yet. And I agree with Drew. I would shoot whoever's the biggest threat first. But you know what? If they all show up with kids, wives, girls, whatever, with pitchforks and torches, I will shoot them all.
Yeah, you can't.
They're all
you can't. There's no
at that point.
You're talking about equality. Yeah.
Well, to quote the line from Full Metal Jacket, you shoot women and children? Yeah, sometimes. How can you shoot women and children? Easy. You just don't lead them as much. Okay. That's what he said. That's what the door gunner of the helicopter was doing. He was shooting everybody. You get to that point that, like I said, you show up to the wrong house, and I don't care if you're a man, a woman, a child, you're a threat to me. It's
because
done.
If you don't, they'll use it. They'll see that as your weakness, and they'll exploit that.
Shield.
They'll exploit that. Yeah.
But here's the thing: they will. Someone somewhere. I'm not. This isn't an argument so much as just highlighting like what will happen. This is a chess game. There are
Right.
people who are just they're so demonically possessed that they will show up and they almost want you to shoot them. But what will happen is there's someone
Sure.
Yeah, by all means, I'm your Huckleberry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, guess what? There's someone somewhere with a camera filming the whole thing. They're gonna
I'm
have
okay with that too, because you know what? By that point, if I'm gunning down women and children, that's when we have a real problem.
yeah.
And so I'm not worried about, oh, well, they're videotaping it. I don't give a fuck about that shit. My life is on the line. My home is on the line. Fuck them. I don't care who films it. They can air that to the world. It doesn't matter anymore. It does not matter at that point to me. At that point,
I mean, they're already doing that at protests. They're they're bringing their kids there, and I'm thinking,
I understand, but they still scatter. Nobody's brought out the big guns yet because they haven't gone there. Everywhere they're going, it's being allowed. It's permissive. It is the liberal governments who are telling the police to stand down. It's all of that. But you don't see them going, with the exception of Ken and Karen when they walked through that gated community. That's the only one I've heard of. You're not hearing about them going into residential neighborhoods and fucking around there, because that's where Ken, Karen, and everybody shows up, and somebody, including their children, gets shot.
yeah,
Because that would be all over the internet. You know that. You're not seeing it because it hasn't happened, because the dumbasses, and I take that back. They're not dumbasses because they know better. They don't go there because they know that their women and children would get shot. And so they're not doing it. They're protesting near federal buildings. They're protesting in government facilities. They're protesting in areas where they are allowed to protest. They're not taking it into residential neighborhoods because it would be a bloodbath and it would be over real fast.
As I was to say, that would be
what
ended
about me
very quickly.
protecting my children? What about me protecting my women? Okay. They want to bring women and children to the fight. Fine. What about my children? What about my women? I have to protect them. I have a duty, for lack of better words, my own internal compass to protect what is mine. And so your kids, your girls, your women do not mean shit to me at that point when they show up bearing pitchforks and torches and cameras. I don't care anymore.
You know, speaking of the rioting and whatnot around the buildings are allowed to protest in, I haven't seen any yet or heard of any. What's happened with the water cannons? How come they're not being? It's strange how they're not being employed to disperse the crowds. I mean, isn't it like that used to be a part of the protocol?
Well, you do know that in Seattle, or sorry, the King County, there was a council member who said that using water hoses to clean up garbage and filth off the streets was racist. You do know that, right?
What? That's the dumbest shit. So someone actually said that?
That was a King County council member.
A Democrat, no doubt.
Well, yeah, it's King County. King County is like, if you went to Mordor, that would be like the Tower of, Barad-dûr or whatever it is. Anyways, yeah, like that. But that's the politics of Seattle. If you're wondering, like, why aren't the water cannons? Because they would say, oh, it's just like the like Selma or whatever, Bull Connor using the water hoses on the kids back during the civil rights movement. So like that's their argument, because they just everything is racist. Anything that gets in the way is racist, and they'll come up with some way of saying that or doing that. So yeah, I mean, taking a dark turn on this podcast, but
yeah, let's turn it around. Sorry, Rob, you're gone. So we're gonna 180 this. God damn it! No, these are the conversations I like. And Rob disappeared again.
No, I'm still here. I'm just doing some
picking your nose. Okay,
yeah, pretty much. I'm picking my ass. But I want to pose something to TJ where he was talking about people showing up with cameras and all of that. Okay, here's my thoughts. Do you really think? And I can't speak for obviously all of America and all that shit, but I can only speak for me. Do you think that if they show up at my doorstep with their pitchforks and their torches and their cameras, do you really think I care about being crucified on social media at that point?
At that point, no, fuck that.
Exactly.
you-
At
And
that
I
point, there's
don't even
probably
care
no
if I get,
electricity for social media.
well, but
and
here's-
and do I even care about being crucified in a court of law at that point? At that moment, do you think I even care about what the court system, if I survive it, do you think I care? Do you think that's running through my head when I see the mob show up in my door with their women and their children? Do you think I care about what social media is going to brand me as? Do you think I care about what the court system, the criminal justice system is going to think of me at that point? Do you think that is anywhere in my mind whatsoever?
I guess the point I'm trying to make is that, you know, I don't want to go down that, like, I don't want,
And I don't think we will, because of nobody wants to be a martyr.
Nobody wants to put out their own neck for this. No.
Right. Nobody wants to die for the cause. Because if they really did, we would see a lot more death, and we're not seeing it.
Well, that's the thing is, like, it goes back to what I'm saying. There's a lot of people out there, especially young people, and Doc is just pointing this out. A lot of people need a cause. These young people need a cause to live for. They got nothing going on in their lives. A lot of them are they've majored in worthless stuff. They got student loans that are not going to be forgiven. All this other stuff.
The best thing that can happen to them is they go to jail for a while.
Well, I'm saying, like, for them though, wait, they're getting indoctrinated into the religion, and wait until there is like this crusader type message of, if you go out and fight the patriarchy or white people, whatever the hell they call it, if you fight that, you will, like, they're gonna at some point say, like, there's some sort of afterlife reward for doing that. Like, you will be loved in the afterlife and in my fields. And then we're going to go torch places. And to say, Rob, like, do you care? No. The problem is that, unfortunately, we are not the common denominator in this country. If we were, there wouldn't be a problem in this country.
Yeah. And real fast, I'm going to completely derail you, TJ. Joe just mentioned about the place that he's going to rent or reserve off Airbnb for the Masculine Geek Village by the Lake in September. I just one caveat to all this too. We're not, as far as the gatherings, the meetups, particularly restaurants, we're not going to have more than 12 people. So if you want to join us for certain things, make sure you hop onto the Masculine Geek website and use the contact page to let me know you're arriving. Also, get in touch if you are. Get in touch with Joe so he can go ahead and reserve the space. It's going to be very cheap for an Airbnb for the 3 or 4 days, whatever it is that he's doing that for. So, all events will be discussed privately among the people wishing to join, and locations will be given out at that day, which is Saturday, I believe, the 26th.
Correct.
Cool. So, and there's more information will be on the website as it becomes available. So there you go. All right, back to our regularly scheduled programming. TJ, take it away. Keep going.
Oh, I was just saying, like, the thing is, I actually I want to, like you guys, I want to live. I want to see old age. So when I see people who are so irrationally delusional that they will take it all the way to where they'll die, but you still get screwed over after the fact in the courts or whatever, like, I'm not saying I think that's the thing, is, like, it's not going to happen to everybody. It's going to happen to some people. Some people are going to be made an example of for other people to be afraid of. That's kind of my fear. And so that's my response for people is to live in a rural area, if for no other reason. These people protests don't really happen in rural areas. That's so funny.
My cat fucking
Rob's pussy's rubbing the cock of doom.
Yeah, he's marking it as his. This is my
copy.
And then you can just hear it slightly over the microphone.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, so, like, it's just my advice for people is, like, you know, live in it. If you can have property, but I think the main thing, this is kind of key. You don't want your house, if you can avoid it, you don't want your house to be on your property line, because then people they'll trust me, they will toe the line. They'll be like, well, I'm not on your property. But if I want to throw a Molotov cocktail, or if I want to throw gasoline and light it on fire and run away, I can do that in a split second. This is Antifa's tactics, is to get within range of where they can hit you if they want to, and then quickly withdraw if possible. And so they'll do that with people's homes. The problem is rural areas, you got to drive there, and they don't have cars, and they don't have driver's licenses.
It's too much work. It's just too much work.
So but also let's say your house is in the center of a property where it's 300 feet away from the property line. You've got plenty of time to they have no excuse for being there, like being near your house. Like it's like, what are you doing here? Oh, I'm just, it's like, yeah, you're on my property. You've crossed my property line by 200 feet. Get the hell off, or I'm going to shoot you. But if your property line's right next to your house, they can technically stand on public land. Like, this is the problem with suburbia. They can go to the sidewalk right next to your house, and that's public property. Like that, I'm not saying this is going to happen to everybody, but it's just like, this is stuff to think about for people to say, okay, so, because I promise you, these terrorists are backed by the local governments, the attorney generals, the district attorneys, the prosecuting attorneys. They will go to bat for these bastards over you. You flash a gun at them, they will file charges against you. They just will. And then they'll hope that you'll plea bargain with them so that you can be made an example of. So I guess that's the fear, is like not being the person who's made an example of. And yeah, you can win it in the court system, but like, it's not something I want to go through. Personally, I just would prefer not to go through it at all. So it's like taking preemptive measures. And Rob, I don't think you have to worry about that where you are. And I don't really have to worry about that where I am, because the geopolitics of the locals would make that very complicated if they were to, because they're not going to put up with this either. But you can't say, oh, it's, a local militia. No, it's like, it doesn't match the narrative. Like, this is the weird world we're in, where it's completely about who's doing what, right? If you're living in an area where it's full of foreigners, they can do things that we cannot do. They just, they can get away with that kind of stuff because the politics doesn't match. The narrative, it doesn't mesh with what they're trying to do. So it's the world we live in. Like, so for example, the guy who hit the girl on Interstate 5 in my area, he was not white and she was white. And so like the politics of that is so confusing because they can't say it was a hate crime. They can't charge him with a hate crime. They can't say it was a racist attack. They can't do any of that stuff. They're slapping him with some stupid charge that's not going to work because he was driving the speed limit on an interstate highway where somebody was there against the law. So it's going to get thrown out of court. But if he had been a different demographic, they could have gotten him on a hate crime. Like that's the point. What I'm trying to say with all this stuff. It's like, just being aware of the dynamics that goes on with all this weird stuff. And it's kind of geeky. I mean, to be applicable to what this show, but like, it's almost like playing this game of like Stratego, where, if you're a scout, you can do this, but if you're a colonel, you can do this. And if you're a miner, all that other stuff. It's like, it really is that kind of a game.
Okay. I've got some information for everyone in the chat, for Red Crusader specifically, but it also applies to you, Vince, and you, TJ, when it comes to coming to Utah. Okay. This is coming from the visitutah.com, which happens to be kind of in cahoots with utah.gov. So this is coming from basically the state of Utah when it comes to travel and quarantine and all of that stuff. So as of right now, this may change. I'll keep an eye on it as we get closer to the dates in question. However, right now it says, if you are traveling to Utah from another U.S. state, Utah currently has no travel restrictions or quarantine requirements if you are healthy. Visitors to Utah can protect themselves and Utahns by following state and local public health guidelines, which includes social distancing, enhanced hygiene protocols, and wearing masks indoors and where social distancing is difficult. Please see areas with mask mandates below. Much of Utah is currently in the low risk phase, recommending reasonable precautions. The agencies that manage Utah's outdoor recreation are committed to keeping public lands open while protecting visitors and staffs. All right, mask mandates in effect. Masks are currently mandated in public, both indoors and where social distancing isn't possible outdoors in the following areas: Salt Lake County, which is where I live; Summit County, in which Park City is located; Grand County, in which Moab is located; and the city of Springdale, which is the gateway town to Zion National Park. Coronavirus closures. They mentioned some of the areas that are closed off right now. State parks are open to all visitors. Cities, they go into all this. Guys, here's what's going on in Salt Lake County right now, because I live here, I work here, and I'm dealing with it day to day. If you want to go to a restaurant, restaurants have limited capacity. Same with bars. They are all open. So you can go in and sit down and eat, where Vince said, like, we're going to keep it to 12. That is actually a good number. Some will allow up to about 20 in a party, but seating is somewhat limited. So going and sitting in a restaurant, we are going to have to deal with that. Masks are required in Salt Lake County if you cannot social distance. And so, like, going into a restaurant or a bar, walking in and leaving said facility, you have to wear a mask. Once you are seated, you can take your mask off. Okay, because apparently coronavirus only attacks those that are walking in and out of doorways.
Yes, it's very selective. It's
right.
Very selective.
Coronavirus is very selective. Okay, but otherwise, getting on an airplane, you may need to check your local areas to find out, like, when you go home or what they require before you get on an airplane, if that's how you want to come out. You need to check your areas as well. But as far as getting to Utah, as long as you're healthy, you do not have a 14-day quarantine period or anything like that, like we did at the very beginning of this whole thing. You can get on, you can get right off the airplane. I can come pick you up, or you can Uber or whatever. But at least as of today,
that's interesting. That's interesting, considering that right as of now, and it was added, I think, last week or the week before, Utah is considered a hot state.
There's areas, there's like Salt Lake County and Summit County are considered hot. And honestly, that is more the mayors of those areas that have cried to the governor and begged the governor to keep it at an orange phase, is what we're at in those areas. Everywhere else, it's yellow, which is okay. You might need to wear a mask here and there, but they're not mandated. But because the liberal mayors boo-hooed and cried and begged and pleaded, and I say liberal mayors because they are liberal, the governor capitulated to them. Okay, the governor himself, he's not the greatest in the world. He's an idiot in his own right, but he's very conservative compared to the liberal mayors. So unless, and things can change. I mean, we're still a couple of months out here. But I don't see it necessarily getting worse. If anything, it'll probably get better, because we don't have people dying in the streets. We don't have, the hospitals here are still not overrun.
We never have had that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fucking ridiculous.
So I highly doubt it's going to get worse. If anything, I think it's going to diminish as time goes on, and everybody will probably go like to a yellow state. And at that point, it's, social distance, wear a mask here and there. It'll be recommended, not mandated. But otherwise, right now, from what I just read to you guys, you can get on an airplane as long as you're healthy and come to Salt Lake, and you're not going to have any problems. The airline may require you to wear a mask the entire flight. I've seen that. that's, you need to check that with the airlines and see what their policies are. Same with your own area that you live in, where, coming back or leaving. You need to look into that yourselves and see what's going on there. But as far as coming to Utah, you can get off the airplane and go right about your business. You don't have to quarantine and stay away from me or anybody else unless you're sick. And then there might be some issues, but beyond that, you'll be fine. Because if anything, I see that diminishing over time. I'll keep an eye on it. I'll keep you guys posted as we go along. Because for all I know, by September, it may be almost business as usual by then. But I don't know. But for right now, guys, you could come out today and you got to wear a mask if you walk into a restaurant or a bar. But that's about it, because when Matt came, just the other day, two times, the couple of times, me and Matt, he's over in Tooele County right now. Over there, they're not Salt Lake County. Tooele County is its own county. They don't have the mandate like they do in Salt Lake County. So when we went to breakfast or lunch, he had a mask. I totally fucking forgot mine. I was like, oops, because I hate these fucking things. And so I kind of, try to resist, to use that hashtag. And so I went out to Tooele County to visit him on our first meeting and totally forgot the mask. Well, they didn't give a shit. Now, was the staff wearing masks? Yeah, because that's the business, they have to wear them. But we, the public, didn't even have to wear them coming in the door. Okay, Salt Lake County, he came out here. Yeah, we have to wear a mask. So yeah, he and I both wore masks going in and leaving. But while we were sitting down and eating, because Corona doesn't attack you while you're eating, we were fine. So there you have it. So there you go, guys. Ooh,
Fantastic.
You're grilling carne asada? Dude, Juan, you so need to come out. I'm putting you in charge of the grill, dude, for real.
Right.
Give me a list. If you're coming out, give me some list of what ingredients we need, dude. I'm putting you on the grill because I've seen your videos and your pictures, and it's like, dude, this man can grill some shit. I can already tell. So absolutely. And it may come to that, hey, we're going to a fucking park and grilling on the grill, and that's where we're gonna have our meetup without mask shit.
Mm-hmm.
So it may come to that. We'll see what happens.
Like I said, as we get closer to the
date,
we'll know better, and we'll have more information on exactly what the itinerary for Aaron Clary.
Yeah,
there will be an itinerary which Rob and TJ and I will decide what we're doing, and getting together as far as that's concerned. So
yeah. So, but as of right now, you can travel unrestricted to Utah. So there you go.
Cool. Yes, Drew, D&D.
Yes.
August next week or next Wednesday.
Yes.
Someone had asked when Rollo was going to be on. Well, that's when Rollo will be on because he's going to be the DM.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Yes, Chris, you're late to the party. That's all I can say. It's like,
we've
Chris,
where
have you been? We've only talked about this like every episode.
Well, let's see, Chris. You follow us on YouTube. Thank you. We follow you. We look at your stuff. And you follow us on Twitter. If you have not checked out Chris Von Erich's show, Red Lens, go do so. Yes, go check him out. We were on that. Amos's show, the 10K Run podcast with Brooke Potter. Make sure you go check that as well.
Yes.
But Chris, you need to pay attention more. And get on our newsletter. You're going to get all this information.
Right.
I would also suggest signing up as a member on Masculine Geek Life, but you are on the newsletter? Cool. Okay. I had no idea. I don't check names and shit.
Yeah.
So
yes, Red, you are gonna have to check out your end. I am not gonna hold your hand. So I'm not gonna Google that for you. You're gonna have to get your lazy ass up and check out the shit from your end for the flights and for what Ohio has to say. So yeah, you're gonna have to do your homework.
Yes. You guys are all all grown ass men.
Homeschool's
looking
retiring.
fine.
Congrats, dude.
Oh, nice. Yeah, congratulations. Yes, everybody go follow the safety doc. All right. This is a good stop. This is a good area to stop at. Rob, you want to do your spiel one more time?
Hit the like, hit subscribe. You guys already know what to do.
That's right. There's 30 viewers. We want to see 30 likes.
Well, I was gonna say, how many likes do we have? 24 likes. So there's 6 retards in the audience. Come on, guys, hit the like.
Well, they're the 6 that don't like us.
Apparently.
And now that we've
So
said that,
we'll
we're
have
gonna-
6
we'll get to 6
dislikes.
dislikes. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
we should.
Whatever.
Yeah, that's fine.
Fucking cocks. All right. So once again, everyone, it's been a pleasure. Always a pleasure talking with you. Always a pleasure to see you as much as we can. And looking forward to the Salt Lake MG Village by the Lake meetup end of September. Keep an eye on the website. Go sign up for Masculine Geek Life. If you want the full membership and you want the discount, the 50% off discount, get your asses in there now. Red Crusader just signed up. He's in there. Mictibus is in there. A few other people, which you will recognize the names if you join. Go do that. Otherwise, you're shit out of luck on midnight of the 31st.
Oh, look who finally showed up at the last minute. Fucking Athem's here.
You
rooftop
son
Mexican.
of a bitch.
If anyone knows better, Athem knows better. It's like it's intentional. What's that?
I'm waiting for him to say, "Hey, invite me, fools." Nope, we're on the way out. We're on the way out. So everyone, enjoy your week. Rob and TJ and I will be doing some subscriber podcasts this weekend.
Yes.
So once again, get your asses in there for the full membership, and that is full membership price is for the life of as long as you've joined. It will be the $29.99. If not, you're fucked. So it's protecting your
But next week, no, Athem. Next week's D&D.
Sorry. You can come in the chat and we're going to ignore you. We have a tendency to ignore the chat. The chat is there for you guys to talk amongst yourselves. We're busy playing the game and focused on the game. So, and then the rest of August, we have great guests. We have good guests coming in, and we're having a return of Quintus Curtius on September. We're going to talk about his book, The Lives of the Great Commanders. So get ready for that. Fuck D&D. That's for dorks. That's right. It's for dorks, you son of a bitch. And that's why you will be in the chat watching. You big Mexican dork, you.
Rooftop Mexican dork.
Rooftop Mexican dork. Saturday one shot. Amos, if you ask me that one more time. No, I'm glad. No, I'm messing. I'm glad you did because to be quite honest with you, I forgot about it and Drew has already left. I will make a point when we get off this broadcast to send out an email to Drew and to figure out what Saturday, either late August or early September, we can do the one shot. All right. So I will get to that. I'll get that information as soon as I find out, and we'll probably find out this week. All right. We're done. Stop distracting me. We're going to sign off. And until next week, keep the fires burning, keep moving forward, and do not let the bastards wear you down. And never, ever take wood nickels.
Meh.
See? Aw.